Today I'm wearing this blue shirt for solidarity with thousands of political prisoners in Myanmar, unjustly detained by the most brutal military junta. As we speak, more than 13,000 innocent people of Myanmar are being illegally detained by this illegitimate military junta in Myanmar, known as SSC. Dear friends around the world, I also like to reiterate our appreciation to all of you for wearing blue shirt today, as to raise awareness for political prisoners in Myanmar, to show our solidarity with these brave men and women who are held as hostage by the military junta, including our state councillor, Dr. Aung San Suu Kyi, and our elected presidents, who we meet, and several thousands of political prisoners remain in those situations in junta-run prison across the nation. At least 10,000 political prisoners of conscience has been held by the junta behind the bar. These political prisoners have nothing wrong. Only their crime is of their expressions of freedom and democracy. These political prisoners were jailed for supporting human rights. They have been put inside prisons for supporting federal democracy for the people of Myanmar, regardless of race, religious backgrounds, ethnicities. We all are created equal and free. We all are created equal and free. Dear brothers and sisters and friends, these political prisoners are jailed just for the cause of freedom. They are jailed for their belief in equality, their belief in self-determination, their belief in human rights. The entire people of Myanmar are facing human rights crisis, crime against humanity, humanitarian crisis, and humanity crisis itself. Arrest, torture, forced labor, disappearings are taking place in Myanmar every day under the watch of this genocidal military junta, led by coup leader, Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing. This genocidal military junta in Myanmar are not using prisoner cells as weapons to kill democracy and to destroy freedom for the people of Myanmar, but they are using disease as weapons to destroy democracy and freedom. They are using COVID-19 as weapons. They are using humanitarian crisis as weapons, violence crisis as weapons. They are using terror, hunger, starvations as weapons, just to destroy democracy and freedom and wipe out freedom from the face of Myanmar. But dear friends around the world, we will never normalize the act of terrorism against the people of Myanmar. Let us be clear, we will never normalize. Even though they face this terror and nightmare every day, the brave people of Myanmar are fighting for freedom and democracy for all the people of Myanmar and for the world. On the face of these terrible darknesses, the brave people of Myanmar are fighting for their freedom and their rights. On the face of this terrible injustice, the people of Myanmar are fighting for justice. On the face of this unspeakable, uncontainable brutality, barbarity, cruelty, inhumanity from genocidal military junta in Myanmar, the brave and courageous people of Myanmar are fighting for freedom, the fairness and righteousness, and for the light. I just like to make conclusions of this remark by reading the poem written by U Witten, the hero of peace. U Witten was the hero of mankind, the hero of humanity. He was the hero of freedom and democracy in Myanmar, who spends much of his life in military generals run prison cells. This is what he read. See that tiger in the zoo, rolling in cage. Do they think it has turned harmless? How wrong and how hilarious. I ask you to remember this. As long as it bears black stripes on gold and vivid and distinct, it will always be a tiger, fearless and fierce, by U Witten. Today, as we mark the day of political prisoners in Myanmar, in solidarity with these people who are the front lines of freedom and democracy. They deserve our support, they deserve our solidarity, and we must do everything we can to use our freedom to free the people who are being illegally, unjustly detained for so long. Therefore, first, the military junta in Myanmar must stop the violence that they have instigated across the nation by using heavy battlefield weapons against the entire population of Myanmar. Second, they must release all these tens of thousands of political prisoners that they have unjustly, illegally detained for so long. Number three, they must return the power of the nation, the sovereignty of the nation to the people of Myanmar where it belongs. They must allow humanitarian access to across the nations, regardless of regions, regardless of tribes and places. Humanity has no border. Freedom has no border. Democracy has no border. Human rights has no border. We will never, ever surrender to these darknesses because the light will prevail. We will never, ever give up the fight for freedom and democracy because freedom and democracy will prevail over tyranny and terror. We will never bow down in front of it, on the face of inhumanity. We will never bow down on the face of criminality, barbarity, unrighteousness, and the darknesses of this terror and nightmare. because one day justice will prevail and accountability will be for the future of the people of Myanmar. Dear friends, the future awaits us where stability, peace, prosperity will be fully restored in Myanmar. For the people of Myanmar, by the people of Myanmar, not only for Myanmar, but for the world. May God bless you. May God bless Myanmar. Yeropo Aonebi. Yeropo Mocha Aoyami.
ငောင်းတွေကိုရစ်စစ်တင်ဆက်ပေးနေရှိပါတယ်။ PVTV ကထုတ်လွှင့်တင်ဆက်ပေးနေတဲ့ season တွေကို PVTV ရဲ့တရားဝင် YouTube channel ဖြစ်တဲ့ youtube.com/c/PVTV မြန်မာကို subscribe လုပ်ကြည့်ရှုပေးကြရဖြင့်တော်လိုင်းကိုတစ်သက်တအားဖုန်းမှုပြည့်ပေးနိုင်ပြီဖြစ်ကြောင်းသတင်းအောင်ပါလိုက်ပါရရှင်။စိတ်ရကလစ်တွေနဲ့တော်လိုင်းရေးကိုနိုင်တဲ့ဘက်ကထိတ်ဆက်အားဖြစ်လိုက်ကြအောင်ပါ။အရေးတော်ပုံအောင်ရမည်။